we'll go ahead and begin in a child's pose. Go ahead and come to your knees and then draw your hips to your heels and bring your forehead down to the mat, please. Take a few moments just to settle into what feels good inside of your child's pose. So bringing your knees close together will allow for a little more opening in the lower back, a deeper stretch through some of those lumbar extensors. Opening your knees apart will provide a little more opening and softness into the hips, allowing your chest to drop down between your knees. So just go ahead and make a choice there. You can have your arms stretching long in front of you, feeling that little tug underneath the armpits maybe. But if for some reason the shoulders don't appreciate that, go ahead and take your arms back by your sides. That's great too. So, right away, just from the start of class, you have been given some choices. You've been given some options. And that will continue to happen over the course of our practice. What I'd love for you to pay attention to each time I give you an option is how you feel. Not how you look on screen, not what other people are doing in Bali or San Francisco or Pennsylvania. Not even what the person next to you on the mat is doing. But can you predicate your practice today based on how you feel, moment to moment and breath by breath? Giving yourself permission to stay right on the edge of your practice so that we're working intensely enough, deeply enough to achieve our intentions without moving into a place that is at all reckless. We want to stress our system just enough that we become strengthened, that we improve, but never so severely that we're causing harm or damage. And I really think that's a big difference between our yoga practice and some of the other exercises that we do. It's that constant attention, that constant intention of continually checking in. How am I now? How am I now? And then giving yourself the permission to respond, not react, right? But to make a choice and to move with a sense of clarity. Always, over the course of your practice, you have permission to come back to this child's pose. And you don't need a reason besides it would feel good to be in child's pose. You have nothing to prove. Go ahead if you could and exhale just all your breath out. Empty your lungs and then fill up with a nice big, slow, deep breath in and exhale with an HA. That vibrational sound, that HA sound, providing a little bit of stimulation to our parasympathetic nervous system, creating calm and peace inside of us. Let's try it again together. Exhale everything out. And then fill up bottom to top, side to side, inside out. And let it go, HA. From here, please reach your arms out long in front if they're not there already. And let's come up to hands and knees, all fours, please. Have your hands right underneath your shoulders. Separate your knees slightly so they're underneath the hips. And let's start to find some mobility in our spine with cat-cows. So as you inhale, arch your back, look towards the sky, lift your chin. As you exhale, round your spine, look towards your navel, feel your shoulder blades wide across your back. Again, inhale, lifting the tail, lifting your face towards the sun. Exhale, drawing the pelvis under, tucking the chin, rounding through that spine. One more time, big inhale. Can you find a little more arch, a little more drop in your tummy? And one more time, big exhale. Can you really pull the navel into your spine and lift your back up to the sky? And then take a few breaths here on your own. You can continue to move through just these straight cat-cows. You can make it a little fancy, a little individualized if you want, rolling your shoulders, swaying your hips, nodding your head here a little bit. Yeah, it looks really good, Sarah. And then as you're ready, I'll invite you to curl your toes under, stretch your hips up and back. And let's come on into our first downward facing dog. And really it's just a rough shape to start. An upside down V with your hips lifted, your hands and heels rooting to the floor. Start to bring kind of a sense of movement here. So bend the knees, nod your head, maybe sway your hips from side to side. Just starting to understand the body that you've brought onto the mat today. What does it feel like if I do this? What does it feel like if I do this? And what does that call me to do next? From here, we'll start to clarify the shape. So gazing at your hands, they're about shoulders width in distance. The fingers are spread apart wide. Try and root down through your whole entire hand. So you're getting heavy through the tips of the fingers. You're rooting through the thumb and index fingers. Maybe the heels of your palms are just a little lighter on the floor. Start to feel that you're pushing the floor away from you rather than sinking or collapsing down into your wrists. And feel the way that your shoulders are rolling open on your back. So the blades are wide rather than pinching together tight. Looks good, Kevin. Your head is heavy, you're gazing towards the big toes. Continuously lifting your hips up and back. Create a nice straight spine. If you find that your back is rounding a lot here, you're totally welcome to bend your knees to create a nice straight spine. Long breath in and a long breath out. Let's bend our knees, look forward, and go ahead and walk to the front of your mat. Hang heavy once you get there in a forward fold. Good. Feet about hips width in distance. The weight evenly distributed across the feet, toes and heels, right and left. A nice place to maybe nod your head or shimmy the shoulders a little, just to remind things to let go. And then as you inhale, let's take a half lift. So fingers can come to the shins or the thighs for support as you shine your heart forward. Again, if your back feels really rounded here, go ahead and bend your knees a little bit. Lift your chest slightly higher so your spine can be a nice straight line coming out of the pelvis. Neck is neutral, so most of us that means chin a little bit tucked, shoulders away from ears. And then exhale, fold. Come on back to that heaviness, that release. Exhale the breath all the way out. With your next inhale, rise please to standing, your mountain pose. As you arrive here, close your eyes if it's available and just start to feel yourself in space. That idea of just standing still, arms over your head, right? It's quite simple, but that doesn't mean that it's always easy. Just standing still, closing your eyes, paying attention to how your body feels. Some of us might notice stuff already beginning to come up. If stuff is coming up for you, let it come up. You don't have to shove it back under the rug. I invite you today to participate fully in your body, in your breath, even in the emotions that may be tied to those things. It has a place here. Let yourself breathe into it. As the eyes flutter open, can you look towards the sky? Can you reach up and then gently back, just a little opening through the heart? Now exhale, take a forward fold all the way down. Good. With your next inhale, try that again. Rise all the way up to standing. Now continuous movement, lengthen tall so that you can reach back. And then exhale, dive like a swan, forward fold. One more time, your breath, your movement. Inhale, reach up to standing, going so high up, there's nowhere to go but back. And then when the breath comes, you go into your forward fold. Lovely. Inhale, find your half lift. And then exhale, place your palms to the mat, walk your feet back, and pause in an upper push-up plank. Let's just get real clear about this shape right now. We're gonna come back to it many times. Your shoulders are stacked on top of your wrists. Feel that your hips and shoulders are about the same height, and that your neck, again, is a natural extension of your spine. Yeah, no hanging that head heavy. Good, Miriam. If you need to modify, your knees can come down to the floor. That's a great way to build strength for your future practice. Good, Kristen. Take a breath, push the floor away from you. Now exhale, bend your elbows and lower yourself halfway. On an inhale, pull your heart forward and up, roll the shoulders down the back, untuck your toes in your upward facing dog. Nice, Sophie. Exhale, curl your toes under and you're right back in that downward facing dog. Take your breath in. Take your breath out. Notice already what has changed, what has shifted. We often look at change as this thing we have to leave for a special day. But in just a few breaths, notice what you've done for yourself. Notice the strength in that. You did that. On your inhale, lift the right leg up and back behind you. Take a moment and feel your hips square. So the leg might not be super high, but the toes are flexed, the glutes are engaged, the knee is nice and strong. Take a breath into this, and now exhale, change something. Change might look like bending your knee and rolling your hip open, but it might not. Maybe change today means wiggling your toes or circling your ankle. Yeah, Charlie, maybe today change looks like flipping your dog over. Maybe change means taking your right foot over to the right side of the room. Can you be responsive? Can you move according to what your body is asking of you? Really nice, friends. Inhale, glide your right leg high up and back. And then as you exhale, step your foot all the way between your hands. Drop your left knee down to the floor, untuck your left toes, and let's take a low lunge. So hands can come up to the top of the right thigh. Good. As your hands press down into your thigh, can you lift your chest up? As your hands press a little forward, can you draw your pelvis underneath you? So we're looking to feel this nice juicy stretch running down the front of the left hip and thigh. If you've been sitting for a lot of your day today, this is certainly appreciated. As you're starting to unwind the front of the left hip, notice where tension starts to creep. So did you start to clench your jaw? Are you squeezing your shoulders up? Can you even just feel some softness through your fingertips? There you are. Welcome to stay here, or if you choose, arms might come up overhead. Take a breath. Let's lift up. If you wish, reach back. And then exhale, place two hands to the floor. Curl your back toes underneath you. Straighten your back knee. Listen. Now turn your left heel down to the floor. We rise up to a warrior one. Yeah, so just gave you a little bit of a hip flexor stretch before we came up to that warrior one. Nice. So here it's a nice big step. You want to feel that you're bending your right knee low. Perhaps one day your right thigh is parallel to the floor. At the same time, press your left pinky toe deeply into the mat and squeeze your left knee firm. If it's available, start to drag your left hip and left shoulder towards the front edge of your mat, but without pushing, without forcing, without making anything happen. Once again, scan your body and notice where you could put some ease into this moment. And I don't mean ease as in you're doing something easy, right? Sometimes just finding a bit of softness, a bit of self-compassion is one of the hardest things we do all day. Love yourself enough to sit into the edge of it, whether that means getting a little deeper in your lunge or getting a little taller through your spine. Take a breath, look up, perhaps reach back. And now exhale, place 2 hands to the mat, step your right foot to plank, and move through your flow on your own. So high to low push-up, exhaling as you lower. Big inhale as you lift your heart upward facing, and big exhale returns you downward facing dog. Let's keep moving our bodies. Inhale, left leg will lift. Square your hips for a moment. Just notice how that is. The leg might not be high, but it could be crazy powerful and strong. Inhale here, exhale, change something. Yeah, you might change something similar to how you did on the right side, or it might be really different. Move according to your breath, according to this limb. On your next inhale, glide, lift, lengthen that left leg up. Exhale, let's step it all the way forward between your hands. Drop your right knee, untuck the right toes, hands to the top of that thigh. Go ahead, lift that chest and lean yourself a little bit back. See if you can begin to squeeze that right butt cheek just a little bit firmer. Notice that as we squeeze through our right butt cheek, we might get a little more length in the front of the right hip. Cool. Maybe press the top of your right foot a little deeper down into the mat, firing up through the quads. And then the option here to draw your arms over the head, if that's available. Perfectly fine to keep your hands on the thigh. When your arms lift up, can you imagine even like your rib cage lifting up? Yeah, nice and tall through the waistline. That was beautiful, Kate. Take one more breath to look high, perhaps reach back. Exhale, hands come on down. Curl your back toes under, squeeze your back knee firm, and then turn the right heel down to the floor. Let's rise up for a warrior one. The way that we sit inside of these postures, these more simple or basic postures of our practice, it's kind of like the way that maybe we're sitting inside of our lives right now. Inside, the brain might start to be going, what's next? What's next? But can you encourage your body to be here and now? Can you feel grateful for this moment, rather than wishing your life away into the next? And if in this moment your right hip could square a little, that's nice. And if this moment your face could soften, that would be wonderful. And if in this moment there's a depth of breath you could connect to, go ahead. Take another breath, sit deep, reach tall, and then exhale, release. 2 hands to the mat. Step your left foot back and flow. And then this time as you return to downward facing dog, take an inhale and an exhale on your own. And then you will flow one breath, one movement, or your one right and left side. If you want to keep in that little hip flexor stretch, you're more than welcome to do so. But if you want to just move fluidly through it, that's great too. Let your body dictate what your body needs. Moving through this flow, right? You just take your time. There's no such thing as getting there too soon. There's no such thing as being late for this practice. It is entirely predicated by the pace of your inhales, your exhales. As you return to down dog, if that's a sustainable place for you to be, I invite you to stay there. But if your body is asking for something else, like a child's pose, go ahead and find your way into that. And then if you can join us for a breath together, exhale all your air. Inhale, fill up. And exhale, let it fly. With your next breath, let the right leg lift. As you exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Rise up right away, your warrior one. Arms are tall, spine is lengthened, navel engaged towards spine. Take a full breath. Now exhale, let's change the shape to a warrior two. So your right arm reaches forward, your left arm extends behind you. You might need to lengthen your stride a little bit. We often can take a bigger step in warrior two compared to warrior one. Take a moment, look at that right knee. Could you encourage it in line with your right big toe? That was better, Aiden. Feel what's going on with your pelvis. Can you just lengthen that sacrum a little bit down towards the mat? Feel how that lifts your pubic bone up towards your rib cage. The arms are strong as they reach one away from the other, a sense of opening across your heart space. And then if the neck permits it, you're looking over the right fingertips. Again, notice what begins to come up as we stay inside of something. If your body is starting to say, what's next? Let's move on. Can you use your breath and invite it to stay? I promise you're building something by being inside of this moment. Take a breath, fill into what you've created, and exhale, change it. Cartwheel your hands down, step back to plank. Beautiful, you float. Always in those flows, you're welcome to place the knees to the floor if you need it. Always in those flows, you can take a couple of extra push-ups if you need it. Here we go, left side, all right? Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it between your hands, back heel down, rise up, just establish that shape of that warrior one, 2 feet firm on the ground. And now exhale, change it, warrior two, blossom the body open. Your chest is now squaring off towards the right side of your mat. Your hips might be a little less than square to the right side of the mat. See if you can prioritize the left knee in line with the left big toe, even if that means your right hip is coming slightly forward, that's okay. As you close your eyes here, just start to notice the sensations you're creating. Yes, there's work inside of your quads, there's work inside of the abs, there's some strength going on through the arms. But also notice where there's ease, the softness across your face, the relaxation in the muscles of the throat and the neck, even the way that your toes just rest on the floor. So our yoga is this balance between what we're turning on and working into, but also the way that we're getting out of our way by creating softness and space. As you open your eyes, inhale strong. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat, step back and flow. So beautiful. Coming back to downward dog. Once again, one breath, one movement, we flow. Warrior one and warrior two from right and to left side. Notice yourself embracing the simplicity of the motion. Can you, without having to hide behind fancy poses and lots of balancing and intricate twists, what is your yoga in this simplicity? What is your yoga when it's just your inhale, your exhale, your next movement? Whether you go deeper or whether you back off, these are choices predicated entirely on how you feel, moment to moment. If you can, with me, exhale all your air. Fill, deep, deep breath in. Let it fly on your own. Now, bending your knees, look forward, step, or maybe you'll jump to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half lift, find that long spine. And exhale, forward fold once again. Look at your feet, step them to hips within distance. Be sure the toes are pointing forward as best as you can. And then with your inhale, find a chair pose. Drop your hips, lift your heart. There you are. Challenge yourself to sit into it, Erica, to a degree that is challenging without being overwhelming. You're making that decision, right, Clara? If you should draw the weight a little back and bring the hips a little down, or if maybe today it's more appropriate to back off. And I can't know what's right for your practice today. Only you can guide yourself to either heat things up or move things to the back burner. But if you could separate the knees just a scooch, Charlie, that'd be nice. Good. And if you could lengthen through those fingertips just a bit there, Sarah, you've got it. And not because I told you, but because you can. You're sitting down, Jamba. One more deep breath. And exhale, forward fold. Great. From here, let's just sweep our hands behind the hips, interlace the fingers, lift your knuckles up and forward, just getting a good stretch through the shoulders and the front of the chest. Yeah. If you're a little tight here, it's fine if your palms don't touch. If you're a very flexible person here, put a little bend into your elbows so you're not hyperextending the elbows. Gently, carefully release your hands to the mat. On an inhale, take a half lift. As you exhale, place your palms down, walk your feet back. We're going to pause in an upper push-up plank. Beautiful. With your feet about hips within distance, keep your hips and shoulders the same height and just lift your right hand to touch your right shoulder and place it back down. And then take that left hand, touch your left shoulder, and place it back down. Good, and then we'll do what I actually wanted you to do. Your right hand to your left shoulder, sorry about that, and back down, and your left hand to your right shoulder. Go ahead and place it back down. Good. Lift your right foot 2 inches off the floor. Exhale, knee to your right elbow. Inhale, extend it long and back down. Lift the left foot 2 inches off the floor. Exhale, squeeze that knee to your left elbow. Extend it long and place it back down. Take a big inhale breath and exhale, downward facing dog. Just right into your down dog. Good for you. We won't be here long. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Bring your feet to hips within distance. Listen carefully. Inhale, reach up tall to standing. Find your mountain pose. So feel that plumb line running from your head through your heart, down through your pelvis. Keep that beautiful neutral spine now as you just exhale and sit into your chair pose. So approaching that chair from bottom down, from top down instead of from bottom up. Notice how that changes your experience inside of the shape. Can you find that heat, that spicy moment right away, and ask yourself to live there for just a little bit longer this set? Inhale for a full breath, and exhale, let's forward fold. Beautiful. Right hand to the mat between your 2 feet. Extend your left hand to the sky. Bend just your right knee as you twist and gaze towards the left fingertips. Return your left hand to the floor. Let's inhale, reach the right hand high. You can bend just through that left knee as you're looking towards the right hand, opening up from that right side rib cage. And release it back down. Lovely. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, 2 hands down. Walk your feet back. Pause, upper push-up plank. Feet are hips within distance. Please reach your right hand straight out in front of you and lift your left leg 2 inches up off the floor. I didn't make a verbal mistake this time. This is actually what I want you to do. Try and hold it there without putting your knee down, even if you need to drop the pose and return to it several times. Hold for 3, you can for 2, you can for 1, put the hand down, the foot down, and now switch it. Left hand forward, lift the right foot up. Try and keep that long line shape. So avoid lifting your butt up if you can. Beautiful, Gisela. You've got this. Can you hold it without biting your lips? Go ahead and put your hand down, your foot down. Deep breath in. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful work. Deep, deep breath. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Feet and hips width. Your choice of how you come into chair pose last time. You can go from standing and then sit. You can go from forward fold and lift up, but find yourself in your chair. And if you can, close your eyes. What is it like if you experience this posture from a sense other than the visual? What is it like to experience turning that gaze inside and finding where your power lives? That's it, Abby. One more deep breath here. You've got it. Exhale, forward fold. Great. From here, bend your knees a lot once again and slide your hands underneath your feet from the front side. We're taking a gorilla pose. Yeah. Your knees can stay really, really bent. That's perfectly fine. For my more mobile friends, you'll start to gently straighten out your knees. If the knees become totally straight, maybe you're bending your elbows and you're using the work of your biceps to get some length through your spine. For all of us, could you imagine drawing up on the kneecaps a little so that you're strengthening through your quads in order to open up the back of those legs, those hamstrings? Gently step off with your hands, please. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, walk back, pause in your plank position. Feet are at about hips width in distance. Take your right hand, put it in the center of your mat, right underneath your chest, and put your left hand behind your back. It's a one-handed push-up position. Now, instead of putting your knees down to modify, you can put your left hand down for a second and then pick it back up again. But don't put your knees down. You can put that left hand down and pick it up as many times as you need to, but keep your knees off the floor. The only way we learn how to stand on one hand is by standing on one hand. You've got this. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, Jennifer. 2 hands on the floor. Take that left hand, put it a little bit more in the center, right hand behind your back, and you hold and you stay. As many times as you need to, you can put the right hand down and pick it back up again, but challenge yourself to hold yourself on just your left hand, even if it's for only a moment. And you know, if you have to do a one-handed push-up, you could if you wanted, right? For 3, 2, 1. 2 hands on the mat, separate those hands, nice deep breath. Listen, exhale, bend your elbows, lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Inhale, just take a little baby cobra. So lift that chest up off the mat, very little weight through your hands. Exhale, lower that chest back down and come back to your down dog. You can either press up to all fours, press back through child's pose, or just curl your toes under and lift to down dog. Let's connect together, please. Exhale all the air out. Deep, deep inhale. And just let it go. All right. Inhale together, friends. Right leg lifts. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Turn the back heel down. Come on up to your warrior 1. Exhale, open, warrior 2. Now, everything you've got going on from the waist down, keep that the same. Just flip your right palm to the ceiling, reach your right arm up, over, and back, and there's your reverse warrior. Left hand can slide down the left leg, resting above or below the left knee. For some of us, it's wrapping behind the back, looking to one day touch the right thigh in the front. Experiencing a sense of stretch all through that right side body. Challenge yourself to stay. Sink deep, reach long. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Step all the way back to flow. Onto that left side. Inhale, left leg floats up. And exhale, it steps through. Use your core strength. Rise up, warrior 1. Follow your breath to warrior 2. Take a moment and just clean it up, steady it up, root through those feet, lift through your heart, and then flip your left palm, reach that hand up, over and back, finding reverse warrior here. If it's available, the gaze is looking up towards that left palm. But if your neck does not appreciate it, you can look forward or even down towards your right hand. Remind the left knee to stay low through the lunge here. Inhale, breath. And exhale, cartwheel palms all the way down. Step back and flow. And you've got it. One breath, one movement, flow on your own. Warrior 1 and warrior 2 and reverse warrior. If you can this time, try and close your eyes for a little bit of this flow. And you might wiggle a little bit, you might wobble a little bit, but very likely you'll feel something you haven't felt before. And that is very likely worthwhile. As you connect to down dog, again, a chance to take stock, a chance to notice what you've done for yourself thus far. A chance to reflect and look back on what you've accomplished. A chance to know there's so much more you can do. With your next inhale, let's lift the right leg up. As you exhale, step your foot between your hands. Turn your back heel to the floor. Power lunge. Arms come along the sides like airplane wings, and your torso hovers just above that front right thigh. Again, feel length through the back of the neck so you're not craning or straining the neck. Now from here, lift your hands a little higher and interlace your fingers behind you. Knuckles reach towards your back heel. Keep the chest low and extend both arms out long in front of you. Feel this exaggerated line of strength from fingertips through your left heel. Inhale, rise, warrior one. And exhale, open, warrior two. Take a moment, stretch across that chest, and exhale, side angle. Right hand to the mat, left hand to the sky. If the floor is too far away from you today, bend your left elbow, right elbow, and rest the right elbow on your right thigh. Gazing towards the left hand, let's draw the left bicep over the ear to extend our side angle. Perhaps your right hand meets it, two arms stretched long in front of you. Inhale, feel what you've created. Exhale, release two hands to frame your front foot. Listen carefully, step your back foot in about 6 to 8 inches and squeeze your front right knee straight. For a revolved triangle, keep left hand down and reach right hand up for a twist. Again, if the floor is very far away today, your left hand might come onto your right shin or onto a block if you've got it. Feel that rotation happening from your waist. And gently release. Two hands frame your front foot. Step the left foot back again and find your warrior one legs. Take the right hand inside of your right leg, back and around for an ankle bind. Head drops heavy, spine is rounded. A choice to bring your left knee to the floor if you wish. Take one more full deep breath. Exhale, unravel. Place two hands to the mat. Step back to plank, and let's flow. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot through your hands, back heel to the floor, and find your power lunge. Take those arms along your sides. Hover your torso above your thigh. Beautiful. Fingers will interlace behind your back. Notice how that heart opens as your knuckles punch back. From here, let's reach two arms out long in front. Stay inside of this heat. It is what you came for. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. And exhale, open your shape, warrior two. Try and give yourself a long stride here that will help you to stay deep into your hips. Inhale, then exhale, left hand to the mat for side angle. Right hand reaches towards your sky. Yeah, good modification there, Casey. Placing the elbow to the thigh if you need it. We can reach the right arm long over the ear. And for a little more fire, the left arm can come up and meet it. Choose an option where you can still breathe, where you don't have to bite your lips. Inhale. Exhale, two hands frame your front foot. Step that right back leg a few inches forward and squeeze your left leg straight. Right hand down, inhale, left hand up for revolved triangle pose. These twists are sometimes hard to breathe in, Breathe anyway. Imagine breathing the crown of your head long to the front side of your mat. The longer you reach your spine, the more room you've got for that twist. Deep breath. And then exhale, 2 hands down. Return your feet to a warrior one shape. Take the left hand inside of the left leg and behind your calf for an ankle bind. For some of us, hands are meeting at the left ankle. That's lovely. For others, the right knee is coming down to the floor for a bit of stability. Also a great choice. See if you can drop those hips just a scotch, Yvonne. Yeah, deep breath. And exhale, unravel it all. Place your palms down, walk your left foot back, and flow. Inhale, right leg will lift. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. All 10 toes point forward. Root to rise, crescent lunge. Hips are low, arms are high. You might be challenged a little bit by the balance here. See if you can drop your pelvis a bit and lift your chest. Exhale, 2 hands down to your heart. Big breath. And now twist, left elbow over the right knee. Yeah. You have options. You've always had options. Left knee can come down to the floor, increasing your balance. Hands can fly away or bind, deepening the twist. What's not optional is you breathing in this moment. Make the choice right now, no hands on the floor. Inhale, come on back to heart center. Puff up your chest. Yes. And then release, 2 hands down. Listen, jump your left foot forward, your right foot back. Yep, do it again. Right foot forward, left foot back. And one more time, you should land with your left foot in the front. If it didn't happen, try it one more time. Good. And now go ahead and rise up. Find your crescent on the left side. There you are. Just make sure that your booty is like underneath your body. You haven't left it out behind you. With an exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, twist right, to the left. Right elbow over your left knee. You may feel that as you press your top hand into your bottom hand, that helps to twirl your body a little bit open. You may be able to look up towards the top hand, taking the twist through your whole entire spine, including the neck. If your back knee is lifted, squeeze it a little firmer, get it a little more lifted. And now with care and precision, come on back to heart center. And we release, 2 hands down, step back, and your choice, either right into down dog or you flow, your choice. With your next breath, float the right leg high, please. And exhale, sweep it all the way through for a half pigeon. So right knee comes to the right wrist, left leg lengthens on the floor behind you. Square off your hips to the top of your mat, and then start to fold your body forward and down. If you've got any knee pain, or for any reason this half pigeon does not feel good, you can go ahead and come onto your back for a figure 4 stretch instead. Crossing your ankle over the opposite thigh, reaching through the hole you've created and drawing your thigh up and in. The point here is just to give a good stretch into your hips, into your external hip rotators. So you just want to get yourself into a position where you can do that and still breathe and still love your life. Slowing down now, again, we become challenged to stay. You've come this far. Challenge yourself to stay connected. In a home practice, it's so easy to get dragged away, to cut things short. Drag yourself in. Give yourself the opportunity to invest in these full 60 minutes. They will make the other minutes of your day that much more productive, that much more full. We've got to take care of ourselves, after all, before we take care of anyone else. Feel your breath trickling into the parts of your body that maybe are a little stuck or held. And just invite them to let go. Acknowledge that if they don't let go, that's okay. Exhale something all the way out. Inhale, take something in fresh. And let it fly. Very gently, carefully, begin to peel yourself away from the floor. Come into your left side, however you wish to get there. So if you want to flow, you flow. If you want to revisit down dog, you can. If there's an extra little stretch you're craving, this time is yours. You'll take yourself into left side, drawing your left knee towards your left wrist, stretching the right leg behind you, and eventually coming down onto elbows or onto stacked fists. Always loving yourself enough to stay, caring enough for yourself to breathe deeply while you're here. The idea of these shapes is generally pretty simple, but it's not always easy to be inside of it when you've got a world asking you to do anything but. Scan your body for where tension is still lingering. And imagine breathing directly into that spot. Exhaling away anything that no longer belongs. Take one more round of breath there. And let it go. Go ahead and start to move yourself away from the mat. Join me back in downward facing dog. Take your time, no rush there at all. It will be your final time in down dog, so if you'd like to bend your knees, nod your head, flutter your lips perhaps, just kind of get acquainted with the change you've created in yourself. Get acquainted with what maybe hasn't changed. And with what is so much a part of you, it will likely never change. From here, let's come to the tops of our knees. We'll take camel pose. So knees are hips width. Hands will come to your lower back. Try and have the fingers face down if your wrists allow, and draw your elbows towards one another. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, drop your head back. Taking this back bend to a degree that feels appropriate. It might just be your head that goes back. Maybe it's the middle and upper back. Perhaps you're reaching your hands for your heels. Great. Continue to feel your hips press forward as your heart lifts up. And then come on out, hands to your hips to help you up. Hips down onto your heels. Take a moment just resting hands at your heart or in your lap. Really normal to feel a little dizzy after that. Just greet it with a smile. From here, please get your feet out in front of you, preparing for a forward fold. Set yourself up so that your spine can be nice and straight, even if your knees have to be a little bit bent. Toes flexing towards your face, reach the arms high, and exhale, dive forward and down. You can touch your toes, you can have your hands on your thighs, you can have your hands on the floor beside your thighs. Try not to worry too much about the destination in a forward fold. And remember the experience you're having right now. Inhale and slowly start to roll yourself up. And then just roll yourself all the way down onto your back. Here on your back, you've got about a minute just to bring your practice to a close in a way that you like. So maybe that's bringing knees to chest, taking a happy baby, or a shoulder stand. Maybe you're just dying for more core work. You do you. Keep one ear open though. I do have just a couple of announcements as you're finishing up your practice in your own way. First of all, thank you so much for carving out this time. It really does feel different doing this practice, knowing that 90 other people across the world are doing it at the same time. So thank you for being here. Thank you for telling your friends and loved ones about our practice as well. Please, if you can, continue to spread the word about our classes. And then if you're in the position to do so, we are and always will be a donation-based studio. You can contribute whatever it is that you have to give by visiting yogathepeople.com/donate. No floor, no ceiling to that donation, and we appreciate whatever it is that you can offer. If you haven't done so already, would you begin to find your way into your Shavasana, please? So you're sending your legs long on the floor in front of you and you're resting your arms by your sides. Close your eyes. Soften your toes and your fingers. Unclench your stomach and your glutes. Let your jaw be easy. And your shoulder blades slide wide away from each other on the mat. With every inhale, feel your mind get light. And every exhale, feel your body get heavy. Body heavy, mind light, until you're sinking and floating in the same breath. Rainer Maria Rilke says, have patience with everything that remains unresolved in your heart. Try to love the questions themselves like locked rooms or like books written in a foreign language. Do not look for the answers. They cannot now be given to you because you could not live them. It is a question of experiencing everything. At present, you need to live the question. Perhaps you will gradually, without even noticing it, find yourself along a distant day into the answer. Exhale all your breath, please. Last time, deepest, fullest, biggest breath yet. And let it go. If you'd like to linger in the Shavasana, you are welcome to do so. Otherwise, you're welcome to roll to one side. Gently sit yourself up. And from my heart to yours and my home to yours, thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your night. We'll see you back on the mat soon. Thanks, guys.